let's talk about the big clubs from East Java. Let's talk about Arema. Let's talk about Persebaya. Persebaya. I heard that Eric Jemba Jemba of the Manchester United legendary midfielder gonna come and play for Persebaya. So do you think, Anthony?
He must be a legend. They named him twice.
Yeah, yes. So do you think? Well, aside from Eric Jemba Jemba, do you think Persebaya is also a strong team this season?
Again, you look for consistency. And last season, Persebaya had a pretty strong team. They invested a lot of money in it. They had obviously Ramadamo and a lot of the players like Greg Nicolo and Emmanuel Kemonge, who's a very successful striker last season. This season, they've gone the other way. They've gone for kids. And, okay, they brought in Octavio Dutra he was at Persipura last season, I believe. So, he's got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders because he's about the only real experience they have there. Evan Dimas is now going to be thrown in the deep end after his impressive performance for Indonesia again in Hanoi. But I think they may be putting a bit too much responsibility on these young guys, and especially as they've got SEA Games coming up, so they're going to lose a lot of them. So they've got a transfer policy like we're going to sign young kids. Excellent, great stuff. But you've got SEA Games, and they're going to be absent for a while.
It's great they're signing young kids, but sort of also bringing in likes of Jemba Jemba. Hopefully, these young kids can learn off. Jemba Jemba's played at the highest level, and hopefully he sets standards for those kids they can follow and say, all right, listen, this guy's played at Europe at the highest level. Let's do what he does. So it's very important. Very important, I think.
But one thing with Persebaya is they've got no fans.
Oh yeah.
The fans think they're called Persikuba, and so their local derbies against teams like Mitrikuka. So you've got a team where potentially one of the biggest big four in the country, but they're playing in front of crowds of 1,000 at a stadium that holds 60,000. And you would think that somebody would be trying to address that situation.
What do you think about the other big clubs from East Java, Arema Malang?
What's their name this season? Is it Arema Malang, Arema Indonesia?
No, Arema Indonesia. I'm sorry.
Arema Kronos.
Arema.
Arema.
Yeah. That's stick with Arema. Yeah.
They're always going to be a threat, aren't they? Arema's like San Pauli. They're an institution. They're a culture.
They're a cult club, right?
They are. They're a cult club. Yeah. Be careful how you say that. And Robbie, you lived in Malang for a while, didn't you? And you played for Persima, which is like, who? But Arema is just it's a phenomenon, and they're always going to be up there. They kept Christian Gonzalez, who's always going to score them goals. I think. I'm not sure how many more seasons he's got with him. Mega Kearney is staying on for another season, so they're going to be there and thereabouts. It's interesting. We're talking about the teams we're talking about. They've all got for Indonesian coaches almost.
Which I think is a good thing as well.
Yeah.
Arema's got a really good core group there. You got Victor, you got Christian Gonzalez, I think you got Juan Revi, Bustomi, and all those boys, Cunha Mega.
So a very good midfielder, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they've sort of got a really good core group, which are always going to be sort of, like wanting to win titles and do well. So. Well,
we touched earlier on Samson Arif as well. I mean, you obviously you'd have seen him years and years ago as well over the years, and the way how he's developed into this, talent now has become an Indonesian regular. Are you surprised it's taken so long for him to get there?
Not really. I think, he probably should have come to a bigger club earlier on, but I think he was quite happy at Persebo and he was doing well at Persebo. So if you're playing in your hometown and sort of in front of your family and friends, I think that's a massive thing, why would you move somewhere else where you're away from family and friends? We might have to struggle a bit, but...
to get out your comfort zone and develop mentally.
Definitely, but... he's taking his game to the next level, and I always found when I played against him it was very difficult to mark him because he's actually he kept on going at you.
He's got this low centre of gravity, hasn't he?
Yeah, so he wasn't afraid to keep on taking you on. If you lost the ball, not a problem. He comes back and picks it up again and goes at you again, and that's what really worries defenders.
We noticed that when he came on for Indonesia against Vietnam, there was none of that up front. And then once Samsul came on, that was it. The defenders were like, what do we do now? We've been closed down.
Well, aside from the clubs we have mentioned, do you think is there any other club who could be, the dark horse for this season?
I think from East Java, no. But let's talk about Gresik because they made one or two interesting signings. And there's a guy there very well, isn't there?
Yeah, Bima Sakti. I had a couple of years with him at Persema, and he's just a true professional, legend of the game here, and someone I actually looked up to when I was first arrived in Indonesia due to his professionalism and hearing about him when I was younger as well, playing in Asia. And to have like him back at Gresik, I think the players around him are just going to benefit. Being 38, 39 and still playing, he must be doing something right.
Yeah, it's a good role model, isn't he?
Very good role.